The time's come to play here in my garden of
Hello, I'm Runya, aka Media Adaptation, and welcome back to Moderation while me is for a game. And it's Friday, so that means it's time once again to talk about the supposedly lost 80s style anime, Go for a Punch, aka Saki Sanobashi. And the big news that everyone's been waiting for the past week would be if we've gotten any word back from the Indonesian dubbing group, Anime Batch. Well, as of writing the script, we're still a little bit away from that, before we hit the 9-day period which it took for the first reply. And if we get no word back, then a second message will be sent. Again, this part requires patience. If they get bombarded with messages from different people, they'll probably just block all of them from this topic. But on the brighter side of things, we do have a link to their website, and I've been going through the catalog of stuff to see what I can find. Sadly, nothing as of yet, but I've only gone through the ones that are marked horror. So it could be or just miscatalogued, or only on their OVA section. I'll try and put a link to it in the description, in case anyone else wants to have a peek around. The entire event regarding Anime Batch, and the Discord server in general, was posted by the owner, Stelios Rodis, on a Reddit page, and it outlines what has been done, and why the server is set up the way it is. It's an interesting read, and hopefully can explain some of your questions about it. Also, I get a nice little shout out in it, so yay. But we do have some sad news, as the current owner of the Discord is stepping away for personal reasons and won't be back till August.
Wait, does that mean you default into the leading role?
God, I hope not. I'd make a terrible leader. Honestly, I don't even know why they let me in to begin with.
You're right. I wouldn't hire you either.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Ada.
I try my best.
Well, they did post that a few days ago, and it still pops up from time to time. So don't think they're fully gone. But maybe just from an active role, researching different leads. There is a difference between spending hours doing work and just popping in 5 minutes to say hi and give an update. Either way, I hope the best for them, and pray that the time off helps. As for everything else, well, there's not much besides that. We did get some nice fan art from Just a Skillet, and I was messaged by Redland Ranger, pondering the possibility of some of the animation cells possibly surviving and floating around out there somewhere, which could exist, unless the company was made to reuse them due to budgetary reasons. But calling back to yesterday's video, cells have been found of the failed American Sailor Moon project, so I guess anything is possible, though I'm unsure where to look. But that's basically all that's happened, while we wait to hear back. So I guess we'll just move on to our next part, and we've been asked to look into Angel's Egg from 1985. And I have no idea what's it about.
You mean you didn't watch it?
No, I watched it. Twice. And I still have no idea what the heck is going on. Okay, we have a guy looking at an eye thing covered in statues, and then we have a girl who's carrying an egg, also collecting bottles of water. She then runs to them when they first meet, but the guy returns her egg. We then get the story of Noah's Ark, but without the ending. They sent out the bird looking for dry land, but it never came back. So then she says she could hear the bird within the egg, making sounds, but the guy just says it's the wind. And when she's asleep, he breaks it with his Wolfwood-style cross gun, and then leaves. She wakes up and chases after him, but then falls into a river, and then sees herself grown up, which she becomes when she falls in, and then more eggs emerge from her body. And then the guy sees the eye thing again, and her statue's now on it as well.
What the hell was that?
There seems to be a lot of similarities to the first Ghost in the Shell movie, which, big shock, the guy also worked on. People have debated what this film actually means, and when they ask him about it, his only reply was, it's not the job of the producer to assign meaning to his work, which could be read as, it's our job to find meaning to it. So it's simply, Schrodinger's symbolism, as all interpretations would be right to whoever watches it. Though there are themes of the arc, and also waiting so long that you forget the reasons behind it, which also makes me think of another video. Malice Doll, or Malice at Doll, from 2001. And it has similar themes of a robot wandering the wasteland of Earth long after humans have gone.
She's a robot hooker.
Tactful as always, Ada. But yes, Even though humanity is long dead, her program still compels her to walk the streets at night, even though the meaning of it has been lost to her. One day she sees something new, an artifact that, when she touches it, grants her the curse of humanity, which spreads like wildfire. At first it's all well, experiencing the new feelings and joys that come with it. But shortly after, even a newfound disgust for her past job, and then learns of the pain of loss. She then locks herself within the artifact to stop it from claiming any more of her friends. And our last anime also deals with robots, as it's Black Magic M66 from 1987. A male and female android accidentally get released from their pods when their transport crashes, and now are functioning on unknown programming. And I swear this is what inspired Season 3 of Dragon Ball Z, as the two just walk through the military. They're also equipped with energy weapons built into them. On top of that, once they're immobilized, they detonate a bomb within their chest to take out as many of them as possible. Again, this seems like what the original idea was for. Sadly, they don't have a personality like 17 and 18, but that also works for their favor, as sometimes they move and act like animals, making them incredibly hard to predict. In the end, they find out that the pair are functioning on old targeting programs that were made back before their shells were complete. And the test was to simply find the scientist's daughter, which he's not very thrilled about, knowing that the program wasn't deleted. The film isn't a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but it is still enjoyable, and you can find it up on YouTube, so I highly recommend you watching it at least once. I don't recall if the one up there is subbed or dubbed, as it also has a pretty good voice cast if you can find it. But with that out of the way, it's time to move on to our continued look at adult animation for the time. And we're looking at our last three from 1985, and all three of them are part of the Little Mermaid series, just like last week's strangely named Punky Funky Baby. Baba. Okay, enough of that. And the first one is called Shining May, also known as May's Hot Night. Basically, she's a model who now has a boyfriend, and thinks back to several events from her past and trying to come to terms with them, so they wouldn't affect her current relationship. The next one after that, again, has a very weird name that's hard to pronounce, but is normally translated out to Barefoot After School. And it deals with a standard high school love triangle of a girl liking another girl, but then she likes this boy, and then their female teacher kinda likes her, and then she burns down her house. You know, as you tend to do. And the last one of these from that year is called Telepathic IQ Psycho. Psycho? Nah, I think Psycho sounds funnier. And wow, does this one not waste any time. As it's the basic setup for a magical girl story, but here it's the guy. And when she gets targeted, he shares a portion of his power with her to fight back. So after that, she agrees to help him save some of the others who got captured by the Dark Lord. And sending her in without any sort of proper training probably wasn't the best choice. But the plot twist here is that our guy was really the Dark Lord, so basically you just let her walk into a trap. You did lose a minion in the process, but you could always get more of those. But you forgot to remove her powers, so she basically uses the other prisoners to help kill him. Which it turns out the guy was actually being possessed himself, and it's relieved he didn't die in the process. So I guess next week we'll finally start 1986. But like always, let's end this with a few manga. Earlier this week, we looked at the first part of Though You May Turn to Ash, which is a death game style manga with some strong gore elements. So I'll just leave a link to that up in the card as well as in the inslate, if you're interested in watching it. And on to the next chapter of Junji Ito's Mimi's Ghost Stories, which is a really odd one. I know that's a gigantic understatement when talking about his work, but this one is called Graveman, and it's about a girl who moves into a cheap apartment next to a cemetery. And her neighbor, who's a bodybuilder, moves the headstones at night because he likes the attention from the ghosts. Okay, why the hell not? And let's end this video with another story of the modern horror series by Sin Miu. And this one is called I'm Not Scared. As we join a girl named Nako, who's a new transfer student, and makes a friend called Yuko, who asks her if she's taken the medicine yet. It's something that all students take when they enroll in the school. It's a pill that helps you overcome your fears. But sadly the shipment got delayed, so it won't be until tomorrow. So she goes on with her day, and next is swimming class. She almost drowned when she was a kid, and hesitates to try it. But the others just push her in, which turns out is the deep end, and they aren't scared when she doesn't immediately come back up. Eventually, she does make it out, and the others don't even bat an eye over it. That night, she tries to talk to her mom about it, but she just brushes it aside, as it's all part of the program, to help kids overcome their fears and become better for it. The next day, she again meets Yoko, and the two are drawn to a commotion on the roof, as a group of girls are doing the test of courage by walking along the edge of the roof. Nako says that's dangerous, to which her friend doesn't understand why. She pleads with her that she could die, to which again, what is so scary about that? And then she joins in as well, and the two pick up the pace, but the other girl makes a misstep and falls off, cracking her skull on the concrete below. And for a moment, there is silence. But then the girls are still unfazed, just calling her unlucky, and saying that the teacher will be mad having to clean up another mess. Nako runs to the teacher and tries to explain what's just happened, but she's unfazed by it, saying that it's all part of the program. Some kids are just unlucky. Those who can overcome the fear of death will go on to do great things. And then ask if she's scared of the medicine, which it doesn't really matter. As soon as you take it, such thoughts won't bother you at all. And then it ends with the next day at school, and Yoko is now acting like everyone else, happy, energetic, and without a fear in the world. And that about does it for this video. If you have any other ideas like seeing made to a video, then please post it down in the comments below, and we'll add it to our next viewer request week.
It's now time for the part of the show where we ask you to help us appease the YouTube algorithm by dropping a like, share, or comment. It helps out much more than you'd think.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, then it's very much appreciated. And if you'd like to support this channel, then please visit our Patreon. Link will be down in the description below. Even if you can't give a lot, every little bit helps. Oh, we also started up a Let's Play channel. So if you want to see us try out some horror games, then feel free to stop on by. Link will be in the card as well as in the description. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Anyway, I'm Runya.
And I'm Ada.
Reminding you to take life in moderation.
Weep not, poor children, for life is this way.